Hi, and welcome back to Heimler's History Economics Edition. In this video, we're going to talk about the definition and measurement of money, and these concepts ain't gonna learn themselves, so let's get to it. So in terms of economics, what is money? Money is basically any asset that can easily be used to purchase goods and services. So that means your house and your car and everything else that you own, even though it's part of your net worth, is not technically considered money. Now in a previous video, we talked about liquid assets. An asset is liquid if it can be quickly turned into cash, and that means cash itself is the liquidest of all liquid things. For example, if you wanted to go to Chipotle and buy a burrito, and I do, then the cashier will gladly accept dollar bills in exchange for that burrito, but what she will not accept in exchange for that burrito is my vintage collection of Wolverine comics. I mean, obviously they have value, but they're not liquid. But it's likely in these days that instead of handing cash over for your burrito, you're just gonna swipe a debit card. Therefore, the money in your checking account is considered just as liquid as cash in your hand. And that means we've stumbled upon two different kinds of money. The cash in your hand is called currency in circulation, and the money in your bank account is called a checkable bank deposit. Now, the reason money is so important in our modern economy is because it creates the occasion for an indirect exchange. Now think about this for just a second. This $5 bill in and of itself is just a piece of paper with pretty pictures printed on it. I mean, in and of itself, it's basically just worthless. It's just paper. I mean, if I went to a Maserati dealership and handed them a giant stack of printer paper, then drove off with one of their cars, I'm finna go to jail. And that's because, obviously, printer paper is worthless as a medium of exchange. But everybody in our nation has agreed that little rectangles of paper that are printed with this kind of green and these pretty pictures on them are inherently valuable and therefore can be exchanged for goods and services. And the fact that we can exchange money for those goods and services creates the occasion for much, much more consumption. So that's what I mean when I say that money creates the occasion for an indirect exchange. The alternative to this is that we would have an economy of direct exchange, and this would be called a barter system. You see, in a barter society, people still exchange goods and services, but not for money. They exchange goods and services for other goods and services. And that's not a great system because it requires what economists call a double coincidence of wants. So for example, I'm a high school teacher by vocation. If we lived in a barter society and I wanted my Chipotle burrito, then I'd have to travel around to lots of different Chipotles until I found a Chipotle owner who was willing to trade me a burrito for an economics lesson. And in that case, let's be honest, I'm going hungry. So the basic lesson here is that money is good. And money is good because of what it does. The first thing it does is that it is a convenient medium of exchange, and everything I just explained about burritos and trading goods and services for money and not other goods and services, that's what it means that money is a medium of exchange. Second, money is a store of value. And that basically means that money holds its purchasing power over time. I mean, I could take a dollar bill today and stuff it in my mattresses and then pull it out a year from now and I could still buy something with it. The value is stored in that piece of paper. But if we lived in an economy in which bags of ice were the medium of exchange, all right, need a burrito, drive, then things would be very difficult. And third, money is a unit of account. And that just basically means that everybody agrees on what money is worth. Everybody knows that $1 bill equals $1, a $5 bill equals $5. But suppose you needed to rent an apartment and you were looking at two different places. And let's say the landlord of the first apartment said that the rent was going to be 4 hours of foot massage for him a week. And the landlord of the second said that he would give you the apartment in exchange for a monthly back waxing. Which is the better deal? Well, it's hard to say. But if one of those apartments is $1,000 a month and the other is $1,200 a month, then the decision becomes much clearer. So now that we've talked about what money is and what money is good for, let's talk about the different classifications of money. First, there's commodity money. Commodity money is something like gold or silver. It's something that has value outside of its function as money. So for example, in many prison camps in World War II, prisoners began to use cigarettes as a medium of exchange. And whether they smoked those cigarettes or not, the point is that they became a valuable commodity and therefore a medium of exchange among the prisoners. Okay, second and related, there's commodity-backed money. So right around the 18th century, I guess people got tired of hauling their gold around everywhere. They needed to buy something. So they stuck that gold into banks, and then the banks issued paper money based on the value of that gold. So they had paper money, but it was backed by commodities. And then third, there's fiat money. So when theologians want to talk about how God created the world, they say that he created the world by divine fiat, which means that God spoke and then out of nothing, worlds were created. And that's the idea of fiat money, except on a more modest, not so divine scale. The government government decides how much money our economy needs, and then all of a sudden they print it, and money exists. Okay, now let's talk about the measurement of money. When economists and the government want to talk about how much total money there is in an economy, they have two designations, M1 and M2. M1 money is the narrowest definition of a nation's money and includes only the currency in circulation, traveler's checks, and checkable bank deposits. On the other hand, M2 money includes everything I just said and then adds several other kinds of assets called near monies. Near monies are just financial assets that are not immediately liquid but can be liquidized relatively quickly. An example of M2 money would be a savings account. It's not liquid right at this moment, but all it takes is a few clicks to transfer it to your checking account, and then it's liquid. And just for poops and giggles, as of this recording, America's M1 measurement is about $3.7 trillion, and America's M2 measurement is about $14.4 trillion. So now you know what money is and how we measure it. Nice work. Hey, thanks for watching another economics video. If this video helped make economics concepts more liquid and therefore more accessible to you, then click that subscribe button and I'll continue to help you liquidize the subject. And unfortunately, I can't make YouTube recommend this video by Fiat, so if you think others might benefit from it, then hit the like button and help it spread. Bye.